on DAZN worldwide, May 2nd and 3rd. A knockout weekend of boxing. Garcia versus Romero and Canelo versus Skull. 2 huge fights. Pick one or go all in for only $90. Exclusively on DAZN. Buy now at DAZN.com.
This is KUGAN CASSIUS for IFLTV. Delighted to be joined here in Riyadh by Mr. Frank Warren. How are you, mate?
Hot and bothered. It's hot out there, isn't it?
Yeah, it's all right in here.
Yeah, it's right now. I just come up. Well, we come in from out there, didn't it? It was 100. Was it 43 degrees or whatever it is? Yeah. That's hot.
The UK's been having a bit of a patch with the weather at home as well.
Yeah, it has, but not as hot as here. But it's going to be hot on Saturday night. Great show. Really good show.
Let's start with that. Obviously, interesting press conference yesterday. I think it was taken over with Bacoli and the Jagba gang. Oh, you weren't there. It was for that bit, but it was yeah, a bit colourful with the language, but you know, hey ho. But yeah, some good fights on this card. Obviously, Canelo and the Skull headlining the show, but it's a decent card, a very good card here in Riyadh.
It is. You know, Skull's undefeated. I haven't seen much of him, to be quite honest. And he's fighting the best fighter in the world. Riyadh season. We got the world capital of boxing, Riyadh, and you've got the biggest fighter in the world fighting here. It's a marriage that has happened after all this time. And I think there's going to be an interesting fight. It's a chance for Skull to maybe upset the world of boxing. We will see.
Yeah, I mean, this would be an upset. I mean, some people regarded Bivens' win over Canelo at the time as a big upset, but obviously we've seen what Bivens' kind of gone on and done, and I think that's a different situation, but this generally would be like a massive upset.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah. But you never know.
You never know. So yeah, there's also a card in Times Square which is on tonight. It's crazy. Obviously, the Ring Magazine show and the Riyadh season card, 2 different continents. I mean, it's insane. And the card in New York tonight's brilliant as well.
It's just fabulous. Boxing at the moment is on such a high everywhere. And that Times Square card is a brilliant card. Absolutely brilliant card. And it's in an unbelievable setting. Unbelievable setting. So, fantastic night. And then obviously Saturday we're here in Riyadh, as we just said, for that great card. There's just so many good fights coming up.
Let's just backtrack to a few days ago. Obviously, the announcement press conference for Alexander Usyk and Daniel Dubois. Frank, I saw some updates on the tickets. That's fantastic, isn't it? Yeah. In that short period of time, how many tickets have gone for that is brilliant. Yeah,
I haven't had the reporting from yesterday, but the first day, 60, just over 60,000 tickets it turned out at the end. That's a tremendous take-up, and that shows you how much people are buying into the fight. It's a great fight. It's the number 1 fighting the number 2 in the two active heavyweights in the world. It's, 1 fighting 2. Historical moment. First time ever a unification fight for the heavyweight belts in the UK. 4 belts on the line, and as I keep going on about, a chance for Daniel to become part of sporting and boxing folklore by being the first guy to hold 4 belts, and he's capable of doing it.
Obviously, something that was brought up in the press conference that hasn't been spoken about in a long time is that, was it a low blow, and you don't talk about that much, but just not even really about the low blow, but as you're talking there about Usyk's kind of how he was in the press conference, and it kind of went back to the previous day with the little altercation with Don Charles's boy George Fox, where he kind of come out and talks about this kind of 4v4 street fight, etc. So do you think, I don't know, do you think, not rattled, I think that's probably the wrong word, but do you think maybe saw signs of Usyk being unsettled?
I didn't see that. Well, obviously wasn't there, and I didn't see that. Who knows? But I didn't think he was his normal calm and collective self at the press conference. And there was a couple of moments there, I think, I'd say got to him, but sort of rankled him a little bit. And that's great. That's great as far as Daniel's concerned. He knows Daniel can hurt him. He did hurt him. And I'm not going to go into all this because, again, people go on, oh, you keep saying about the low blow. I don't bring it up. It's the interviewers bring it up and ask me the question, and I respond to it. And the fact of the matter is, I've got my views on it, and I'm not going to go through it all again. The the photographs that were provided, they were just brought. It was in the building, as you know, TalkSport, which is News International, and one of the Sun guys went to the library and pulled the pictures out, the sequence of where the blow went from coming up to where it landed, and that was it. And I've got people saying, it was on the belt, it's below the belt. Man, it's not the belt, it's the navel. That is the line. It's not your hips, it's the navel. Your shorts now, are they pulled up over your navel?
I'm getting older now, so they're going up higher.
Oh, you've got them under your armpits. But are you? But if you?
No, I know what you mean.
But that's the point. You know, that's the line. So anyway, what do I know? I've only been doing this for 110 years now. So all these internet jockeys, you know, sitting there with their pot noodles, sitting in their underpants, and
don't knock a pot noodle.
In their mum's bedrooms, or and it's in a bedroom in there, or the old attic bedroom. They know better than I do.
Apparently,
they better watch out, 'cause the mum's coming to clean the rooms soon.
Frank, sorry, you frightened me. Don Charles's comments were very strong in that press conference. Well, it's basically he was calling Alexander Usyk a cheat. What did you make of those comments? Were they strong or?
Well, yeah, they're strong comments. Of course, they're strong comments, but he feels strongly about it, and he feels that, you know, that it's the referee who screwed it up, and he always took advantage of it. Look, if you're hurt, how many times do you say to somebody they get hurt in a fight, hold on, walk onto him, get close to him, don't let him get his shots off, you know, or you see him spit their gum shield out? That's boxing, that's gamesmanship. And what happened was the referee called it a low blow, and he took advantage of it. And then when he wanted to fight on, the referee gave him more time. He said, you can have more time. He gave him more time. But they said themselves at the press conference, I think it was Igis said, his manager said, if he hadn't given it a low blow, he'd have got up. Well, then why did he take 4 minutes?
In some respects, when Daniel Dubois' career is over, could he look at that moment in Poland as a blessing in disguise, possibly?
I think it's a blessing in disguise. It is what it is. Look, you learn from your mistakes. You learn. If you don't learn, you're an idiot. You learn from what happens. It's a journey. He's a young guy. You know, look at Canelo. You look at Canelo's record. He's got losses on his record. You know, when he lost to Floyd Mayweather, a lot of people thought he was exposed. But look what he's done. He's like the #1 in the world at the weight, pound for pound. You learn from it. And that's what good fighters do. And he's a young man, and what he's done is shown everybody, certainly in his last 3 fights, what he's all about. Again, underdog in each of those 3 fights, and in those fights has done the business and stopped world-class, world-ranked fighters. AJ was on a roll. He'd done a real job on AJ. Hrgovic, the most avoided guy, #1 mandatory challenger, won the interim title. Babe Miller, no one stopped him. I put him in with Miller because I knew Miller would try and do a job on him mentally, like he does with everybody, to test him, to, you know, get him on it. And he sailed through all of them. And this now is his moment. The 19th is a chance for Daniel Dubois to go down in British sporting folklore and to go and do the business, you know, reverse that result.
4 or 5 years ago, Frank, after Daniel suffered that loss to Joe Joyce in lockdown, did you even foresee that Daniel would be in this situation now where he's had all them wins you're talking about and he's on the verge of becoming possibly undisputed heavyweight world champion?
Yes, well, we invested in him 9 years ago. He's not somebody we just signed up. We invested in him. And that fight with Joe, he was in front on the cards. I mean, I'm going to talk about that. You know, saying you brought it up. You know, 4 fractures of his eye socket and a partially detached retina. You know, he did the right thing, and the pain was, as he said, the pain was unbearable. And on the night, you couldn't say, no one knew what it was because his eye was swollen, and they could not do an MRI on it until the swelling went down. And then once it went down, then obviously it was diagnosed for what it was diagnosed. So look, things happen. It's, you know, a loss is not the end of the world. It's what you learn from it and how you come back. That's what it's all about. And you know, he's to me shown what he's all about. He's shown courage in fights. He's shown skills, he's shown his power, and he's shown his drive and what's pushing him on. And what's pushing him on is to win the 4 belts.
Frank, for that card on July 19th, I'm assuming you've obviously started to piece together the undercard. What kind of level of undercard are we looking at? A strong undercard. We know obviously the main event is that big, but
it could be a competitive, competitive undercard with good fights on there. That's what we're doing.
Any names you can chuck at us that could be featuring?
Not at the moment. Not at the moment. They've been worked on, and as I say, we've done 24 hours ago. Done 60,000.
Don't need an undercard, do you?
60,000 tickets without announcing an undercard. So I hope we've done another lump yesterday as well, which will add to that.
Could it? I mean, I don't know what the record was. 96,000. I mean, is it possibly? Could it?
We've got plenty of time, haven't we? We've got plenty of time, and I'd love it to do that. We'll see what happens. But it's a great fight. 2 best heavyweights in the world fighting each other for all the marbles.
Absolutely. Frank, by the time this interview goes out, you would have announced the signing of Olympian, the only Olympian that came back with a medal, Lewis Richardson, a phenomenal talent, Lewis Richardson. In the bag, Frank.
In the bag. I'm delighted. I'm looking forward to the journey with him. He is, as an amateur, he's an outstanding fighter, and I think he'll make a really good pro. So it's going to be a good journey.
Okay. Is there a possibility that he may feature on a specific card that we've just been talking about?
We will see. We will see. You keep probing, don't you? And prodding me.
What am I meant to be doing, eh, Frank? What am I meant to be doing? Bit disappointing, obviously. Gerald Miller is injured. It was a bit of a heavy press conference that we had in Ipswich, but it was kind of simmering nicely. So he's out. Replacement opponent to be announced when, Frank?
I hope we do it today. You've got to just get the contract signed. Get it signed. Don't ask me who it is until it's signed. We've got the contract signed. And, we've sold 18,000 tickets there. I want Fabio to have that homecoming in Ipswich. I think it's going to be great for him. He's number 1 in the BA at the moment. And I want to cement his position and get him into some bigger fights. But he's going to have a tough opponent.
Do you see Fabio at some point, I suppose next year really, challenging for a world title?
Keep winning, keep doing what you're doing, and that will happen. Yeah. It's the heavyweight division's on fire, and the guys are fighting. We're going to be announcing Joe Parker's fight in the next couple of weeks. Lawrence is going to get his fight announced. There's loads of Derek. All these guys are all ready to go. Moses is fighting in Glasgow. Hopefully he comes through that. And then we'll be announcing a decent fight for him as well. But he's got to get through it first.
Plenty of heavyweight action going. Talking of heavyweights, heavy duty. Talking of heavyweights, as he likes to do, put a little tweet out the other day. Our friend Tyson Fury. Frank, I know you're going to get loads of questions about this week, but is that just Fury just being Fury, putting out that tweet he put out about wanting to run it back for a 3rd time with USYK?
I haven't spoken with him about it. He's on holiday and enjoying it with his family, so I haven't rang him or spoken with him at all.
But Frank, if he's writing stuff like that, that means Tyson's brain is already started to tick about even thinking about fighting again. Would you agree with that? Maybe.
We'll see, won't we? Time will tell. I can't tell you. I literally haven't spoken to him, and I wouldn't ring him and say, "Here, you're going to fight again." I'm never ever going to do that. That's got to be his choice. If he chooses to do it, and if he doesn't, he doesn't. That's it.
Obviously Alexander Usyk's there, but there's 2 fights if he wanted to fight Usyk for a 3rd time, but the Anthony Joshua fight, they're the only fights that really he would come out of this retirement period for, wouldn't it?
They're good fights. There's lots of fights in the heavyweight division, if he did that. But they're the ones that you'd want to see. I think the Joshua fight is the one that everybody would like to see.
Imagine we lived in an era, Frank, where they both actually did retire. I know Fury is retired for the minute, but imagine this era completed with that fight not happening. What would you think of that if that fight, the biggest fight that's on paper was in this country, wasn't to materialise in your promotional era?
You know, it's a shame it hasn't happened, but it's a bit like Lennox Lewis never fought Riddick Bowe as a pro.
Yeah.
It's a great fight that never happened, and you know that is what it is. The good thing about the two of them is they're similar ages, so it's not a young guy fighting an old guy who retires, and you know that would like Bowe and Lennox. But it's a fight I'd love to have seen.
Hatton and Witter, not on the same scale, but Hatton and Witter never happened either, did it?
It didn't happen, but it's not, as you say, it's not on the same scale.
It would be an absolute, just my opinion, Frank, it would be an absolute disaster if you and Hearn didn't make that, just saying.
Oh, go on, blame me.
Big fight for Hamza Shiraz. Yeah. Tough fight, very tough fight, and he's almost gone out of the frying pan and straight into the fire.
Well, he has. He's gone up. He's gone straight up. He's not had a little, a fight to test the water. He's gone straight in the deep end. And we're going to see what he's about in that weight division. But he needed to go up because you see in the last fight he was struggling. He's a big guy, and he's struggling to make that weight.
But yeah, there's not a backward step there with that fight, is there, at all, from Hamza Shiraz? Obviously disappointed he was from the previous result, but yeah, this is a great fight with Berlanga.
Well, look, he got a draw. It was a, it was a generous draw, but I think it's the last couple of rounds he did he dug deep, and I mean he won those last few rounds, but Adames very unlucky not to have got the decision, but it is what it is, and there was a reason, and he's moved up. It's not some bullshit excuse. He was struggling, and people have to understand when boxers struggle to make the weight, it does have a massive effect on them, especially some of them when they're tight at the weight. They worry about what's going to happen if the fight goes into the latter rounds or later rounds, how it's going to affect them and so forth. But Hamza did what he had to do in the sort of later rounds, which I think got him the fortunate draw. And we are where we are now. He's now in with somebody who's going to again test him, but he'll be more comfortable.
Just staying with the whole weight thing, obviously in the aftermath, I know it's wasn't your fight, Frank, but Benn Eubank, I know you was there. What do you think will happen? Do you think they will rematch? And if they do, if it is at that weight, I mean, there's so many questions here for this, isn't there?
Well, they have a contract, don't they? Well, everybody knows that. There's a contract there with a rematch clause. Will they do it? That would be their choice. They'll decide whether they're going to do it again. It was a tough fight for both of them. Neither of them took anything out of the ring with them. They left everything in the ring. Junior spent a couple of days in hospital, excuse me, which was for rehydration or dehydration problems, and that's not good for fighters. That's not good for anybody. And he fought tough, and he fought a very high pace, but he was knackered at the weight. If you can't get 2 ounces off, and you know it's going to cost you $500,000, you are wrung out. And he was wrung out. And for Conor to come up and train as he's trained and probably ate everything he wanted to eat, whatever, still 4 pounds underweight at the weigh-in. Him being a bigger man in the latter stages of the fight, I think that's where he struggled. A couple of moments in the fight, I had Conor up winning the fight, and then it evened up again. And I think it was the last couple of rounds that gave it to Chris Jr.
But it's interesting. We don't know if that rematch will happen. There's obviously options. Conor Benn's come back down to 147, and Eubank probably go to 168. But we shall see. They're not your fighters, so.
No, that's their that'd be their choice. But it's not just them; it's the people around them. and it'd be the board, boxing board of control. Everybody would be looking at it, and especially with some of the videos that he put out with him, the way he lost the weight.
You prepared to lose your Bentley to Alexander Usyk, Frank?
Yes, that ain't going to happen. That ain't going to happen, mate. He's going to get...
I like the way, if you win, you get nothing, but if he wins, he gets your Bentley.
He can have his full focus. Yeah, right, I said that. I'll put a bow around that. He's not getting that.
Hang on, what year's the focus? Frank, the zone, obviously, it's been not even a month yet you've been on the zone, and plenty of fights seem to have happened and announced, etc. It's not even a month yet.
No, and look what we've got coming up. Next Saturday, we're in Nottingham, nigh on sold out show. Nigh on sold out, not only a few tickets left. Got that. Scotland, with Josh and Echo and a great undercard there. Nigh on sold out. The Ipswich show, the Wembley show. Boxing's not broken. It's not broken in the UK. Boxing is thriving. It's thriving. Boxing's not broken in Riyadh. It's thriving. Riyadh season. Boxing capital of the world. Boxing's flying. Boxing in America. Times Square, it's flying. It's just unbelievable. All what's happening is unbelievable. It's in a great place, boxing, some fabulous fights going on. And the sport's booming. The sport is booming in a big way.
Absolutely. Right, last question. Do 100 Daniel Dubois beat one gorilla?
One Daniel Dubois, one gorilla.
No, a serious question. It's this new thing that's going on. About 100 men fighting one gorilla. Would 100 Daniel Dubois beat one full-size gorilla?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah. If he hits that gorilla on the chin, he'll go.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Why the other 99 go home? Oh dear. How many Frank Warrens would it take to beat a gorilla? Go on.
Gorilla? God help us, I don't know, mate. One. Yeah, that 12 bore I'd have with me would knock him straight over, right between the eyes.
I remember them comments that Jim McDonnell said to me years ago. He said that you were the hardest hitting person he ever took on the pads. That's what Jim McDonnell said to me. I did ask him, no, hold on, Frank, I did say to him, he was deadly serious. You must...
I used to train with Jim, yeah.
But all the people that he's taken on the pads, he said that you were the hardest hitting one. Yeah. Not on camera either, this is in a conversation. Which is it, the left or the right, Frank?
Which one you want, mate? Depends. Just behave yourself, you find out. Jim, yeah. I remember Jim, yeah. He's got him 2 broken hands he had, didn't he?
That's the one. Broken hands, Jim. Frank, thank you very much for talking to IFLTV. Make sure you tune into the Zone this weekend. Click the link in the description to sign up if you haven't already. 2 epic nights of boxing tonight and also tomorrow night, New York and then Riyadh. Sign up now. Tell them, Frank.
Sign up now. The Zone, the home of boxing, where the big fights happen, where Queensbury shows are on Riyadh shows, Riyadh season. You've got to be on it. You've got to watch it. You've got to be on the team. These fights, these shows just keep coming and coming and coming. Buy them, watch them, be entertained, be part of it.
What a promo. Thank you very much, Frank Warren.
Live on DAZN Worldwide, May 2nd and 3rd, a knockout weekend of boxing. Garcia versus Romero and Canelo versus Skull. 2 huge fights. Pick one or go all in for only $90. Exclusively on DAZN. Buy now at DAZN.com.